Melbourne has been top 5 most livable cities in the world in the survey conducted by Economist Group's intelligence unit. Why not take the plunge and discover this land for yourself by finding out interesting facts about Melbourne, Australia? Melbourne is the largest city in Australia, with a population of over 4 million. Capital of the state of Victoria, Melbourne is the pulsating metropolis of the island country. Located on the large bay of Port Phillip, the city was founded in 1835, which was about 47 years after Europeans first settled there. Today, this ever-growing city is known as the cultural capital of Australia, as it is the hub of arts, commerce, education, entertainment, sports and tourism. Every year, Melbourne celebrates the International Arts Festival, Melbourne International Film Festival, Melbourne International Comedy Festival, and the Melbourne Fringe Festival, which are thronged by tourists from the world over. The architectural development of the city captivates every eye. A city that stretches along Yarra River, has an abundance of beautiful landscape parks and gardens, which perfectly complement old and modern architecture, making Melbourne one of the best places in Australia. During Victorian gold rush of 1850s, Melbourne became one of the wealthiest cities of the world. The city bears a heavy colonial hangover, which is clearly seen through its trams for commuters, cafes and bookshops. The Queen Victoria Market is a shopper's delight, which is easily accessible with the expansive tram system. The throbbing charm of this city differs when compared to other metros around the globe, as it is surrounded by hypnotic beauty of the nature, which remains well preserved. So, take a look at what Melbourne holds for you, before you book your tickets for this vacation. Fun facts about Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne is the only city in the world to have 5 international standard sporting arenas. The famous Melbourne's beer, Foster's Large, was originally brewed by 2 Americans. The first gay and lesbian radio station of the world is in Melbourne. The ancient clocks at the Flinders Street station in Melbourne have been a meeting place for lovebirds. The note printing branch of the Australian Mint was the first to print the plastic money. This type of money is extremely durable and recyclable. The city hosts some of the major sporting events of the world such as Australian Open, the Melbourne Cup and the Australian Grand Prix. Melbourne's infrastructure for sports has earned it the title of world's ultimate sports city. Despite being an economic hub and the most populous city in the country, it has 480 hectares of parks and gardens. The famous Australian operatic soprano chose her stage name Dame Nellie Melba after the city name. Melbourne was earlier known as Batmania Barbras. Melbourne has the top 8th market for telecommunications in the world. The first feature film, The Story of the Ned Kelly Gang, was shot in Melbourne in 1906. While driving in Melbourne, you need to know your hook turns well, as they are super confusing. To turn right you have to make a hook, complete a turn from the leftmost lane. Tramway system in Melbourne is the 4th largest in the world. It stretches along 244 kilometers and has 450 trams. During the Melbourne Gold Rush, biggest alluvial gold nugget known as Welcome Stranger, was found in Ballarat in 1869. It weighed around 70 kilograms. World's oldest amusement park, Luna Park, is situated in Melbourne. It is under private management and maintenance. The Collins and Swanston Streets intersection in Melbourne was the first intersection in Australia to get traffic lights. Melbourne is also known as the fox capital as it has foxes per square kilometre. Melbourne is the home for inventions such as Relenza, Relaxine and the bionic ear. There are innumerable tunnels in Melbourne. You can make quizzes out of these or play 20 questions. These facts about Melbourne were meant to give you a glimpse into the magical extravaganza this city holds for every tourist.